All right, what is up? And welcome back to How to Invest in Commercial Real Estate.
It's been a while.
It has been.
Forgot how to do the intro there. I was
Yeah.
stumbling.
Been what, 2.5 weeks since we filmed an episode?
Too long. Yeah, you guys have been halfway across the world. We'll get into that
Yeah.
in a minute, though. Ton going on. End of February, or since the last podcast, we have officially closed on the shopping center in Shawnee, Kickapoo Plaza. Super excited about that deal. It should start paying out immediate cash flow. We'll probably pay out a prorated Q1 distribution. We have a full month, so why not? We've got some excess land we can sell, but other than that, it's 100% occupied, stabilized cash flowing deal. We
Sold all the Petromax gas stations.
all five, yes. The 4 in Henderson, the 1 in Dawson, all 5 were closed. We bought the Henderson one, I think June, July of last year, and then we bought the Dawson one June, July. We bought the Henderson ones in like November. The blended IRR on that, I think, was like 37%. Nice. Big win.
Yep.
Big win. All of those funds have been distributed back to investors. You'll get them this week.
Yeah, and we didn't have the money for that long, so it wasn't a huge equity multiple, but you can't argue with the IRR and the quick return.
I mean, it was like 18, 20%. It wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to get the money back, and we've got other deals coming up.
Yeah, and then you can
Reinvest.
just turn and burn it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Tax returns for those entities are done as well. Most of the K1s have been uploaded. We're waiting on a few joint venture partners.
Yeah, but the K1's a lot earlier this year than in past years.
Yeah, they were cranking out there.
Yeah, we've been working on it. It's a lot, but the systems this year were really good, actually. Like I said, everything we control is done. It's just herding cats with JV partners.
Mm-hmm. Takes a little longer.
Yeah, that's why we are such a value add in those relationships.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else was going on? We raised money for the shopping center in Cincinnati, shadow anchored by a Kroger in kind of Kroger's home base. Excited.
Already fully raised and scheduled to close the 25th.
And that was like a $2.7 million raise. It went pretty fast.
Went really fast.
I think that one was for accredited investors only, was it?
I think so.
Do you guys know? I think so. But yeah, closing on that, March 25th. We're assuming the debt, and we're getting a B note from the same lender. So blended, I think the interest rate's like 5.9, which is pretty
That's
good.
pretty good. Yeah.
Rate,
Take that.
and we're assuming a bunch of term as well. So we get like an additional 10 or 15 years of term. Rate resets every 5, which is good. Yeah, that closed for the end of the first quarter. And then we've got another shopping center deal in contract. Equity raise should go out here in a week or two. That will close in April.
Yeah, I think the hang up on that deal is we gotta finish the clean environmental, make sure we're good there, survey, a few items that we gotta finalize, and then we'll be ready to launch.
Yeah, we're starting to kind of pre-raise money now. If you see this and are interested, let us know. We'll send you the deck, get you a reservation. And then another sale, the Outparcel in Florissant.
Yep.
That's officially non-refundable. Closing date is set. It's set for this Friday, but it's not going to close this Friday because we don't have the Chipotle estoppel, which sucks. You got to request your estoppels, guys. Let's take time, especially from Chipotle. But anyway, I think it'll close by the end of this month. Massive win. We'll return like a third of the equity. I think it's like $1 million out to investors. Return of capital, and then we'll still be able to pay out 11-12% cash on cash on the remaining equity invested. I think we still have a lot of value to go on that deal. We've got some upside in American Freight. There was kind of rumors. Well, there wasn't rumors. I mean, American Freight went under. So that was kind of shock and awe. The operators rebranded, actually lowered their cost basis in acquiring their goods, which is surprising and great at the exact same time. And it's doing great, which is good. And then Ulta, we've got some upside there as well. Anyway, great little deal.
Owasso. We've got Owassos out for sale, right? We've got the
Yes. We just got the
3-tenant.
Pickleman's and the 3-tenant building listed. Pickleman's was listed. We just relisted it with a different broker. And then Payway is about to be released for construction. So that should free up the sale of that first strip center up in Owasso. We've had a couple of offers, but they just want to make sure all of the tenants are going to honor their lease by starting construction, make sure they're going to open up. That's a big sign. So that should hopefully push
Is this associated with the Salad and Go that already sold?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same deal.
All right.
Same deal. So
I
the
had an
Salad and Go
investor
sold,
asked me
just
about
pay down
that
debt.
today. So, and then we're launching both TLEs in Texas.
Yeah, the first one, Grand Prairie, is on the market. Our Grand Prairie Learning Experience. Check it out. It's on Crexy. You can see it. It's for sale. I think it's going to be well received. We priced it, what I would say, aggressive, but I don't think we're just leaving money on the table. And it's a great infill Dallas.
Yeah, it's a great location.
Yeah, it really is. And then our our Burleson TLE is a May turnover. So ideally, our awesome broker Milo over at Northmark has got this first one sold because he's so amazing. We can just give him that second one. Mm-hmm. If not, we'll probably give it to somebody else. No harm, no foul, though.
We'll see.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of stuff to be sold. A lot going on.
A lot of activity.
The first quarter's been busy, man. And we paid out, I think, like $5 million for the first quarter. It's kind of nuts.
Dang.
Both return and equity.
Yeah, I mean, it's mainly the Petromax deals. That was $4 million right there.
All got wired out last week.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shoot, another month. It's time for Q1 distributions. So
I know. Yeah, and everything is on track. The St. Louis Retail Fund, we've paused distributions on that for a couple of years. That's scheduled to pay out a 7% distribution prorated for the year. But yeah, that's exciting. Florisant's going to pay out. Amarillo's going to pay out. Redbud, County Line, all of these are great. County Line cash flows should honestly, literally gross cash flow should double compared to last year, which is massive.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
A lot of value added. And then we've literally reset 60% of the leasable area on a brand new 10-year lease. That asset's doing great.
Yeah, it's killing it.
Anyway, not really the firm teach you guys something topic today, but you guys just got back from a sick trip halfway across the world. Did the Everest base camp hike?
Yeah, we made it.
It's
Barely.
insane.
Yeah, so it was quite an experience. I would say overall it was positive, but it was a pretty tough experience. Not only was it physically challenging, but it was cold. It's winter.
Yeah, it was cold.
Oh, it was cold on Mount Everest.
Well, yeah, that there, but also every
Indoors.
single tea house that we stopped at, what made it challenging, there's no heat.
Or running water because all the pipes are frozen still.
Well, yeah, the last couple there wasn't any running water.
The last night, I had my bottle of water next to me, and when I woke up, it was frozen. So my room was below 32 degrees.
Oh, my God.
It was very, very cold. The last morning, we were going to make a long base camp push, and we got up at 4. We left at 5 in the morning. It was -2 degrees.
Had our headlamps on.
Yeah, headlamps on. We ended up hiking total almost 8 hours that day.
Yeah.
8 hours at over 15,000, 16,000 feet elevation.
If you were to go back, not saying if somebody were to go back, do you think you would recommend your exact packing list, or are you throwing some more clothes in there? Were you guys appropriately packed?
Shoot, maybe less clothes. You get so tired of, it's so cold when you wake up, you just throw the first thing you can find.
Okay.
Which is what you wore the previous day. But
you had enough layers,
you start out the day, you're not moving and it's cold, and then the sun comes up, you're hiking, and so layers start coming off.
Okay.
I would say, yeah, it's an interesting dynamic in that when you're hiking, you're just in between freezing and hot all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's so cold outside. For most of the trip, it was really cold. But as soon you have a pack on that you're carrying, and as soon as you start going uphill, your body temperature starts to skyrocket. And so then you've got to take stuff off. But then if you stop, you have any sweat on you at all, then you get really cold really quickly. So it's just trying to regulate your body temperature all day. And then you get to the tea house, and you want a hot shower.
And a warm bed.
And we did have some warm showers. I probably only had one really hot shower.
Yeah. Well, in the tea houses, you say that because kind of at the end of every day, there's a little village
there's a village that you're hiking to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not tenting it at the end of the day. You get to a little hut,
it's I would say, not to be derogatory, but it was like a cheaper motel kind of a feel.
Very cheap.
Yeah, just plain.
I mean, it's at the base of Mount Everest. Nobody's expecting like.
I would say the food was better than we thought.
Expected. Yeah.
The food was decent. Portion size were good.
If you hadn't had a
The tea
yak
houses
steak,
have a
I'm
stove in the main room, and they heat that for just a few hours a day. And so everybody huddles around that just to stay warm. But once you leave that to go to your room, you're freezing. All you want to do is put on all the clothes you have and get under the covers and try to get warm.
Was it easy to sleep? Or are you guys like restless?
No, I thought it was easy because you're so tired. As a matter of fact, everybody went to bed at
8:39.
Okay.
every night because everybody's just so tired.
Okay.
So
and it's so cold that there's not really much you can do because you can't get comfortable. So you might as well get warm.
And the sleeping bags were warm. The sleeping bags we used were rated to probably 15 degrees or something, and they were okay. So during the night you're okay, but man, when it was time to wake up and you go from your nice warm sleeping bag to 30-degree air, and you're trying to get dressed and ready.
I would recommend everybody take a hot water bottle.
Yeah.
Because the last night we got that and it was great. And you don't have electricity in a lot of these places, so even electric blanket isn't going to help you. But that if you had a water bottle that you could give somebody, they can boil water, and that kept our sleeping bag warm for like 6-7 hours.
I mean, I was FaceTiming you guys. How did you not have electricity? How would you charge your phone?
They would usually turn they'd have a generator or something.
Okay.
And of course, gasoline is so expensive to get up there that they would only turn it on from 6 to 10 p.m. or something.
Okay.
And that's when they'd have Wi-Fi, and that's when we'd talk to you.
Okay.
I had a cell signal. I mean,
Joel
not
had cell
super
signals
strong,
for
but I had a
a
cell signal most of the trip.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I brought like a huge power bank that I had fully charged. And so, it had maybe 3 or 4 full phone charges.
Yeah.
And so I could get 2 or 3 days without power and I would still have a phone charge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So for water, we did 2 things. Almost every tea house had bottled water that you could buy for a couple bucks or something. But we also brought purification tablets. That worked.
I didn't get sick. I used those.
Yeah, I used them, didn't get sick.
You drink about 3 liters minimum a day.
You guys, I mean, I'm sure have like iron guts by now. Like you just got back from India earlier this year.
I don't feel like I do. I'm having stomach issues now just after I got back.
Well, you did it when you came back from India too.
Yes, it's just for me it's constant, but I'm a unique case.
Food. Okay, so let's see. We had yak burgers.
You ate the yak? I thought that
yaks.
was like the top thing not to do because it's not refrigerated.
We asked our guide like, hey, can we eat this kind of meat here? But the yak it yak chili or yak stir
just
fry?
takes itself up there, so it's nice and fresh.
Yeah.
So you can eat yak. They raise chickens. You can have eggs, and you can have rice.
Yeah,
That's
and noodles. They have good noodles.
Noodles.
Okay.
Like kind of like stir fry noodles.
I had yak chili.
That was
So-
one of my favorite meals, actually.
Yak chili.
We think of chili as like
Yeah,
it wasn't like chili. Yak chili was the yak meat, almost like a beef jerky style, flavorful with onions and peppers, almost like a stir fry
Gotcha.
Type of a deal, and it was awesome.
So 3 full days of hiking or
7 full days.
7 full days of hiking?
Yeah.
7 full days of hiking.
There was
Holy cow.
maybe one day where we didn't hike. Even then, we walked around a lot.
So 2 days were acclimation days, and we still did pretty decent sized hikes, but only like a couple hours.
It's acclimation because what you do is you go hike up this mountain to a new elevation, but then you hike back down and sleep at the lower elevation. It's just to slowly acclimate you to the
Gotcha.
to the
Any altitude sickness?
in our group there was. I don't think Joel and I really
No, and I've hiked 14ers, haven't ever had a problem. I went ahead and started Dimox before the trip because I didn't think that the side effects were that prevalent. And I didn't have really any side effects from the Dimox, and I didn't have any problem with the altitude, besides being a little bit out of breath.
Yeah, same for me. We did have, we had one guy that got food poisoning or maybe it was water poisoning, whatever.
Yak chili.
Maybe.
Yeah, for a day or
But it was only lasted about 24 hours, and we had medicine for it, for his nausea, so he kind of came through it. Then I'd say besides Joel and I, there were 7 of us. I would say the one guy got food poisoning. Joel and I were kind of okay. The other 3 probably suffered some
headaches.
Yeah,
I think there's
dizziness,
a lot of headaches, a little bit of dizziness, and the oxygen level of one of the guys was
dropped
lower.
pretty low. Yeah, interesting. So the last day to base camp, Joel described we had about this 2 hour. We got to Goret Shep, and it's about 2 hours from there. And we had two of the people, their oxygen levels dropped really low, and so we thought, man, they're not going to make it. Well, they brought in horses and put them on horseback, and those horses made it to base camp. Shit. And I'm telling you,
over rocks,
over boulders that are, I don't know how the horses could do it.
It was
I
awesome.
honestly don't know how horses could do it. So I asked them later about it, the two people, and they said, the horses are, you're like this because the horses are trying to get all four onto 4 different boulders that are all different heights.
That's got to be terrifying riding a horse doing that. You know?
They were faster than us.
Jeez.
Yeah, the horses went faster than we did. They caught up with us.
So you get up there, and I'm assuming you're not hiking the 7 days back down.
Well,
there were people that did that. You would hike
people do
faster
that.
back. It would be 4 or 5 days back. So 7, 8 days up, 4 or 5 days back.
Okay.
We didn't. We took a helicopter back to Lukla.
Dang.
And then a plane from Lukla back to Kathmandu.
which I would highly recommend. But most people hike back down too.
Seriously.
Which I wouldn't want to do because you're so tired, and by then you've seen all the scenery. You already made it to base camp, and now it's like, oh, we got 4 days of,
So tell me about the Lukla airport. I mean, that's like the dangerous, the most
We'll
dangerous
throw up
airport in the world.
We'll throw up a video or a picture of it. We've got both, but the landing strip is about maybe 200 yards long. You think that's long?
Yeah, it's at least probably 200 yards.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's like 1,200 yards.
And it's so when you're landing, it goes uphill, so you can slow down because there's a mountain and they just built a brick wall right there. Like I guess they don't want you going up the mountain.
There's no abort mission. Like you have to
there's
land.
no abort.
Like if
There's
you
no
try
boarding.
if you try to pull out of that,
no.
you're flying into the mountain.
Yeah.
But I would say anybody that thinks they want to do it, it's a tough trip. It's definitely doable. If you went in like April, May, it's going to be way warmer. There'll be way more people.
what would you guys do? Would you go warmer, more people, or did you guys like the
It was nice not having to go around people coming back down and people passing you because a lot of the trail was just a couple feet wide or so, and it's on the side of a cliff. A lot of places.
I would think it would be kind of fun to go in busy season, interact with a lot more people from around the world.
Yeah, I would
have it be way warmer.
Yep.
I think the tea houses may be able to be a little more accommodating in high season. More things will be open.
Yeah.
So I think I would choose to do that, but I get why people like having it to themselves.
I'd recommend because it'll be so much warmer, and like you said, there's people from all over the world there.
And if you're thinking about doing it, it's very affordable. I'm not going to get into the exact costs on the podcast here, but there's no 5-star Marriott to pay for. These are all really affordable places that you're staying. The food is cheap. The people there are amazing. And so this is an affordable adventure for pretty much anybody.
Our hotel in Kathmandu was pretty nice, and it was $45 a night.
Yeah, and it was totally decent.
Yeah.
So you can do this trip on a relatively cheap budget.
I mean, outside of actual summit Mount Everest Base Camp and Kilimanjaro, kind of the top 2,
Just regular
heavy hikes like you guys did. I mean, any interest to do Kilimanjaro after?
I think Beck and I are going to do Kilimanjaro eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that one you probably have to tent.
You do. You have to tent the whole way up.
Because you're on a volcano.
Yeah, a lot more porters. I think one person has 6 porters.
That seems excessive.
Yeah, I know.
The other thing, let's see. So probably the second night, I don't know that Joel woke up, but we woke up to an earthquake. No. It was like a 5.6 or did they say 6.0 or something earthquake.
Tons of people die on Everest for earthquakes.
Well, I know. That's I mean, we were fine because we were way far away, but can you imagine? I'm sure the people nobody's going up Everest right now because you're not allowed to during the season because it's still too cold. But if people were on Everest and all of a sudden they start feeling an earthquake. So we had earthquake. We saw an avalanche. We had small rock slides. We heard the ice cracking.
Oh, that's
during the
crazy.
day. So it's not
Mad respect for anybody that tries to climb Everest because
when is summiting season? Like when is it? May
and June.
The main one.
Gotcha.
But we hiked for days. We hiked for 7 days, and we maybe gained 8,000 or 9,000 feet of elevation.
Yeah.
And from base camp to the top of Everest is almost 12,000 additional feet.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that humans do it.
That's through the snow.
And
You're
it's
staying in a tent.
It's intense.
Yeah, tents for weeks acclimating.
It's 8 weeks minimum. Well, I shouldn't say minimum, but
Four minimum for
most
sure.
trekking companies will tell you we're going to take 8 weeks to go up and come back down, mostly because of the acclimation. But I saw one trekking company said 10, a bunch of them said 8.
80% of people do the same hike we did. If they're going to try to summit Everest, they start at Lukla and they make the hike to acclimate. I think besides, I think almost 100% of the people take Diamox if they're going to try to reach the top of Everest. Yeah. It's a real deal, man. And the mountains are just so much bigger than anything I've ever seen.
Yeah,
personally.
Scenery's fantastic. I mean, I don't know that you'll ever see anything.
Do you need to go to the top of Everest? I mean,
I don't.
Yeah, that seems a bit much. It seems too intense.
Oh, I'm not.
You know,
I'm not doing
it's
that.
Like weeks in a tent. The wind looks like 100 miles an hour. You're wearing like a face mask.
Oh, and most of the hiking, or not most, I shouldn't say. I'm not an expert on it, but some of the hiking I know is at night because you're on ice, and they don't want the ice melting while the sun's out. So so you're hiking at night in headlamps, going up. Oh man, it just sounds awful.
Okay, so what was the coolest part of the trip that wasn't the mountain? It wasn't the obvious, like cool airport, cool food.
I liked seeing Kathmandu because I'd never been there before. I think Joel had been there before.
Pretty big town.
It's big.
Yeah, we were kind of in a tourist area, so we didn't see all of it. But it's a really cool town, and you can get anything you want for trekking at cheap prices right there in Kathmandu. You don't have to actually take any hiking clothes, any coats, any boots. Everything's there for sale. Gloves, you name it. North Face.
So our guide, we laid out all our clothes. Everybody that was, all 7 of us, laid out our clothes, and the guide came through and said, well, you need this or you need that. Well, I didn't take some good hiking pants. So we went to this hiking place, hiking gear place, and I bought these North Face hiking pants for $15, and they were fantastic. I didn't wear long underwear one day underneath them. $15. And I'm going to take them skiing in 2 weeks.
I don't know what's more surprising, that or the fact that you didn't bring good hiking pants to Mount Everest.
I'm not sure what I was thinking. I think
literally this guy brought khakis from Gap to hike in. I'm like, Brian, those are cotton. True. What the hell?
They were from Sam's.
Oh yeah,
that's worse, bro.
Like non-stretchy cotton khakis. This guy.
Oh God!
I sprayed them with Scotch Guard.
That's crazy.
Well, we'll hopefully we'll get some pictures and video up while you guys are listening to us ramble about the trip. You'll be able to see some of the track. Amazing experience, amazing country and people. And if you want an adventure that's pretty difficult and a little uncomfortable, maybe hiking Everest Base Camp is for you.
Well, I honestly think that's it. That was
a
really cool update. I know a lot of people are going to be interested in hearing that. That's awesome.
We'll bring a better commercial real estate topic next week, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time.
See you guys.
See ya.